To fully explain this story, I have to rewind 4 years. Because about 4 years ago, I uploaded a video on my channel called I Bought Shroud. Okay, here's the video. Specifically, February 11th, 2021. So we're talking 4 years ago tomorrow. And in the video, it is a recap of an impromptu stream I did where Maya, who had just gone live, was doing a charity fundraiser for Alveus. And the last item at the charity fundraiser was buying an hour with Shroud. Shroud, who obviously is like one of the best, most well-known gamers in the world. So anyway, I go live and I get into a bidding war. And I don't even remember this. I spent more than 50K. I end up spending 53K in a bidding war to game with Shroud for 1 hour, okay? I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I wouldn't come close to spending that much nowadays. I think Aiden would probably fire me twice over if that happened. This is a real thing that happened though. I spent $53,000 to spend an hour with Shroud, okay? Yeah, that is COVID streaming money for sure, okay? Follow up. I did find out a secret about Shroud, which I will reveal if you guys want. I can reveal this secret for you. Shroud eats corn the long way. not even a little bit of what I thought that was. That's not even a little bit of what I thought that clip was. I didn't know what this clip was when I clicked it. What the fuck does that? Why did I play music? What the hell was that? The corn in his mouth and then grinded the corn off of it, the kernels. This is just a minute of me talking about how the man eats corn.
You eat corn the long way? I do. I do.
Why do you eat corn the long? I don't remember this at all.
I just.
I told you.
It's really easy because you could just like put it deep in your mouth, bite it, and then pull back, and then all the corn rips off.
Talking about Disney?
Yeah.
Well, the bigger part of the story isn't how Shroud eats corn, although he does eat corn the long way, which you shouldn't be eating corn the long way. That's not how it works, but he does eat corn the long way. The bigger point of the story is February 10th is the day that I buy Shroud. I did not get to do my hour with Shroud for months. Why? Well, my initial idea is because I spent $53,000. I want to recoup some of that money. $53,000 is a lot of money, so I want to recoup it. So how do I maximize the amount of money I make if I only get 1 hour of Shroud's time? My initial idea was that I would do a calendar shoot. Me and Shroud would do like a best friend calendar. I would get him for 1 hour to do a photo shoot with a bunch of costumes. And, you know, you can imagine February is like we're in love, and in December where it's like Santa and I'm the elf. That was my idea. We do this calendar and I bring this idea up to Shroud and he goes, and this is 4 years ago, goes, And I'm like, what? He's like, I don't really feel comfortable with you using this hour to sell a product. Which, to be honest, totally fair. Because I'm basically just using him for an hour for his likeness to sell merch that he doesn't participate in any of the profit of. I think that's fair, okay? So I'm trying to think of new ways to do it, like this hour, and I'm kind of like hitting him up, but nothing's really coming to fruition. 7 months go by. Now, this video that I uploaded, I Bought Shroud, is one of my most viewed videos at the time. It still has like a few million views. One of my most viewed at the time, though. So everyone's asking me constantly, like, what am I doing with Shroud? And eventually, I think Shroud catches wind of this. And so he asks me to go to Disney. He just says, hey, will you go to Disney with me? And it was like with 15 other people. He basically bought a VIP experience to Disneyland that you could invite like 20 people to or something. And I was one of the people along with Cutie. So I go to this thing and then I come back from it and I make fun of how Shroud eats corn, which is the long way. And I go, Chad, I actually got my hour of Shroud. And you know what Chad says? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Loser, loser, loser. You hung out in a giant group of people with Shroud. You were not getting an hour with him. You just happened to be along the ride. Didn't count. And then a few more months passed. And now it had been a year since I had bought an hour of Shroud. Now, when I say bought, technically it's not me purchasing the money and giving the money to Shroud. The money went to charity, right? So it went to a good cause. But it had been so long since I originally purchased it that it had built up some expectations. that this hour with Shroud is like not just going to be an hour of us playing CSGO Wingman. It's going to be like a magical hour together where we're going to explore each other's bodies, and it's going to change the course of everyone's watching's lives. Okay? It's going to be the craziest damn hour he's ever experienced. It's going to be an hour he's never going to forget. We're going to hang out till the room stinks. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm trying to speak in code, but I might not be subtle enough. I might be too subtle, I should say. Now, eventually, I have an opportunity that I think is cool enough. That opportunity comes at Ludwig Tarek Invitational. You see, at Ludwig Tarek Invitational, we had this idea to tack on this like celebrity match where we would have YouTubers go up against each other. And I believe that it was OTV versus The Yard. And OTV got Tarek as their pro. And I asked Shroud if he would be The Yard's pro. And I believe at the very end, in this very nail-biter best of 3, we actually end up losing. Nail-biter, though. Bro, it was a nail-biter. You should have been there. And I thought that counted as my hour with Shroud. Now, this is, by the way, 2.5 years. Sorry, no, that's a lie. This is a little under 2 years after I initially bought the hour. It was over an hour. It's something he would not normally have done. He came in. But even that, because not as many people watch Ludwig Tarek Invitational, because it's professional Valorant, didn't really, in the people's mind, count as hanging out with Shroud for an hour. Because more people knew about me buying the hour and not getting the product over the course of 2 years than watched that match. Now, I think it counts. I would count that. I think it's fair to say that that does count. The issue is not as many people saw it, and it took 2 years to happen. So anyway, I've never tried to like cash in another hour. I've never tried to be like, Shroud, we got to do something for an hour. Let's think of, I never thought about it. Because I was like, this is close enough. This is a homie move for him to do this thing, whatever. Fast forward to this week. In fact, this whole month, Shroud has been doing something called the Fragathon. Okay, the idea of it's simple. It's like a marathon stream raising money for charity, and it goes like for the course of a month, trying to raise as much money as possible. And it would count up like how many kills he gets in video games. He would donate based off those amount of kills, et cetera, et cetera. So Shroud's doing this Fragathon. I participated in it. You might have seen. Okay, it's why I have these 2 slits in the side of my head. That's from the Fragathon. If you saw me tweet at Logan Paul that I want to fight him in real life, that's because I lost a bet at the Fragathon. It was for charity. I don't actually want to fight Logan Paul. I'll admit right now, I would lose. It wouldn't be close. But the final day of the Fragathon, there was a charity auction stream. And do you want to know what the last item of the last day of the Fragathon's charity auction stream was? An hour with Shroud. Now, I see this happening because I'm watching at this point, and I'm thinking, how funny would it be to bid on this? Can you imagine if I were to bid on this 4 years later and be like, I want an hour with Shroud after getting scammed because it took so many years to get my first hour with Shroud? So I decided to throw in a bid. Just a bid. A paltry bid as a joke. Okay? And I'll show you, even before I put the bid in, people were already like adding me in chat, and somebody even bid, is Ludwig going to bid 50K? So it was like clearly on the forefront of everybody's mind. And so eventually I decided to put in a small bid. Obviously not actually trying to win, but just for the meme.
Can't believe that this jersey in front of me is 21,000. We got to frame this thing.
Now, for some extra context, he had just done a bid for a C9 jersey that was game worn. It's one of the most popular American CSGO teams, and it sold for 21K. So I knew that this hour of Shroud was going to go for a good amount of money.
Yeah,
and you can see Beanans, who is Shroud's girlfriend, is going Ludwig mod check. Everyone's kind of calling me out in chat.
We'll do whatever you want. Ludwig's here! Ludwig! My goat, Ludwig, bring it up to $10,000.
Now, admittedly, it's not a small amount. I bid $10,000. But the reason I did it is because every incremental bid along the way was already like taken. So the way the charity auction site works is if you are bidding on like a $100 Pokemon card and you bid $1 million, you're not actually getting charged $1 million. you're getting charged the minimum amount more than second place. Does that make sense? It's just how eBay works. It's basically trying to save you money on the final purchase, but if your bid gets beaten, allow you to automatically rebid instead of having to constantly keep it open. So I put in 10,000. It instantly gets beaten. Like we are talking within seconds, you know, like it's an automatic bid because Easy put in a lot more money than 10K, presumably. So I put in 10K, instantly gets beaten as just for a joke.
Listen, are we going to do this again? Are we going to do this dance again? This guy's going to make me play League of Legends or some shit, bro. I mean, technically, Ludwig's a cool dude. We could do more than an hour. I know him. He's a cool guy.
Now, Shroud was saying the entire stream that this hour is not actually exclusive to an hour. It could go longer if you're like chill and fun to hang out with. And, you know, maybe if he doesn't have as comfortable of a time, he might be more strict about the hour. But the hour is not like a real hard timeline.
Quick, we'll do one more minute. Right now, Ludwig's losing. So, Elwig. And like I said, if you're cool. Yeah, Ludwig's cool.
Now, I put in 10,500. Why? Because I was like, you know what? This would actually be a decent YouTube video. I could make the money back. I would probably lose a little bit, but if I were to make a video with Shroud and do the live stream for a few hours with him, because I didn't realize it was, I thought at first it was limited to the hour. When I realized he was like, we could play more than an hour, I was like, wait, if I get Shroud for 4 hours and we do like a bro versus bro, like that would probably bang. Like that's a good ass YouTube video. It's a fun storyline. Like I could do that for 10,500, but just keep watching.
Ludwig's cool. I mean, kind of. He's a little weird again.
Okay, that's not what I meant when I said that's not what I wanted you to watch. You can ignore that part.
45 seconds. Ludwig in the lead at 11,000. There's no way.
So I put in a bid for 11,069. I didn't actually put in a bid for 10,500. This was my automatic bid. Because I put it for 11,069, I was 69 cents higher automatically without doing anything than this person Terrasite. This is going to be important.
There's no way we're doing this. Is for the dude. Ludwig is doing this for the memes.
I was doing it for the memes. I was liking the attention in chat. I won't lie.
This guy, bro.
So what happens is some time winds down and the person who's in second place asks a question in chat.
Wait, Terrasite wants to go in double down with us, dude.
Terrasite was asking how much money he would have to donate so that me and Shroud would both play with them. So they basically wanted a 2-for-1 deal. And I'm watching this in chat and I'm going, look, if I'm able to pitch my time to raise more money for charity, like if me and Shroud doing a threesome with this dude makes more money for charity, like let's do a freaking threesome. And I said, I was just coming up with a random number. I was like, we're at like 10, 11K. What if we just double it 20K? If you donate 20K, we can do a freaking threesome and raise money.
A three-way gaming session if Terrasite goes up 20K. I don't know. 20K. Two at once.
So we actually both came to the same
Ludwig
conclusion.
said 20K.
We both came to the same conclusion. I said 20K in chat. He said 20K before he even registered.
We'll go at once. We'll do a three-way Terrasite if you get to 20. We'll extend it one more time because I feel like he deserves that chance.
So you can see the clock is winding down.
30.
Terrasite asked this question, and his next action.
Get a little spicy. Ludwig's gonna win. At this rate, Ludwig's gonna win.
With 3 seconds on the clock, he beats my bid with 11,569 cents.
There it is.
Now, here's where the issue comes in. As I said earlier, the way the auction site works is that even if we were saying it costs 20K, it doesn't matter that it costs 20K because it automatically makes your bid the minimum bid to win, aka $500 above second place. So he could have put in 20K here, but we won't know because it's only going to make it 500 above second place. I think you get where this is going.
So how this works is it's an auto bid system. You don't just go straight to 20K. He's at 11,500. So if someone goes over him, it'll tick back over.
So Ludwig, what we need you to do right now is bid 19,500. That way we know for sure. Oh, here we go.
Did you hear that? Did you hear what he just said?
Okay, what's happening here is this is a weird. I never thought this is going to go into a three-way, but what's happening here is the donation system. They auto bid over each other. So I think Terrasite put in $20,000, and in order for it to get to $20,000, Someone needs to go higher than him. Ludwig went 15,500 and tested the waters. Terrasite technically did not go to 20,000. Terrasite only went to 15,000. So as it stands right now, it's a 1v1.
So I did as I was asked. I thought that this fucking guy had put in $20,000. So to prove that he put in 20,000, I put in 18,500. I didn't even put in the full 19,500 because I was like, maybe he'll be a little bit under. So I put in 18,500, expecting to be instantly beaten. That's what I thought would happen. I am putting in this donation expecting to be beaten based off of this verbal, not agreement, but you know, sort of like deal that we put in place where 20K gets you a gaming session with me and Shroud. Okay, that's what I did. And you can see Terrasite actually put in 15,000. And so it makes my minimum bid automatically beat it. And so we're at 15,500. This is not the end of the scam.
It's getting scammed by Terrasite. It's crazy. But listen, you don't have to. You could have scammed him.
Because chat now knows what my intention was. Because I was personally trying to make sure that the max amount was raised for charity and Terrasite did the full 20K that we talked about. They know that I bid higher than 15,500. It did not randomly stop there because I'm in chat freaking out like, Terrasite, please, if you wouldn't mind, can you please put in some extra money, please, perchance? And Shroud's being like, if you scammed them, you scammed them. And so what do you think those fuckers in chat do?
Gavel in my hand. When I slam this gavel, that will be 16.
They drive up the bids. Hi, Ludwig. Don't be scared.
Hey.
Anonymous, $17,599. I am literally having my bids driven up by chat who knows where my limit is, because my limit was based off the agreement that we were having with Terrasect. And so finally, after like 3 minutes of me begging, I'm literally in chat going, hey, maybe extend the auction a minute or two. Maybe extend the auction a minute or two. So he keeps extending. And after like 3 minutes, nobody else donates.
Which is kind of crazy. And W. Ludwig. W. Ludwig. That is a 1v1, not a 1v1, it could be a one-on-one session. That is not a three-way. Ludwig, thank you for the 18,000 generous donation to St. Jude's. You are an amazing person. You did that out of your own free will. Nobody changed your mind. Nobody made you do that. You did that out of your own free will. You started at 10, you got all the way to 18,000 all by yourself. You were fighting everyone. You're like, no, my Shroud, get out of the way, mine. $18,000 for St. Jude's with the 1 hour gaming session. Thank you, Ludwig. Thank you. Thank you, Ludwig.
So I spent 18,000 to game with Shroud for 1 hour, which if you add to the 53,000 that I spent 4 years ago, I have spent $71,000 to hang out with Shroud for an hour. I'm literally giving him more money per hour than Mixer did. But that also means next week is going to be the return of bro versus bro. We are talking about a duel that is 4 years in the making. So, folks, next week, it's the Gamer of the Year versus one of the gamers of all time, Ludwig versus Shroud. Okay? Ludwig versus Shroud. And I'll tell you, this is going to be unlike any other bro v bro because Shroud already has sussed out some of my secrets. He's refusing to play Battleship. So we're going to have to figure out a new starting game. We're going to have to figure out some new neutral games. I have to make absolutely the fuck sure that whatever games I am playing, I have the best chance of winning. I'm not trying to lose. Can you imagine spending $71,000 to lose to Shroud in a 1v1? That would suck, man.